Okay, throw out the trash Thursday. So, while I'm sitting up here tripping, right? Because I don't like the way they call the Queen of Wands a harlot, a prostitute, uh, a Jezebel, right? But let's face it, all of those labels could never be made unless a man violates her. Otherwise, she would just be a old maid or a virgin that no man wanted. Instead, what is it? Instead, they're like, oh, well, we all know that there are these women out here, and it's the oldest profession, right? So, what is the oldest profession? The oldest profession is prostitution. Okay, so men have turned women into prostitutes, and because this was a life changing alteration, these women should be getting enough money to sustain them to the end of their days for being a prostitute. Why? Because once you label a woman a prostitute, chances are she will never find a man that will want to marry her because she's been labeled and categorized as a prostitute. Right? So I don't understand how is it that you all will sit up here and have these prostitutes and you guys are only paying them $10, you know, for a blow, $40 for a half an hour. Yeah, so forth and so on. I don't know exactly, how much the list is, but every now and then I hear what the prices are, okay? And how they want them to come back down, right? But I mean, damn, you know, if a person used to, get a brake job on their vehicle for $40 and now it could be as high as $1,200, how much would violating a woman be? Because let's face it, you know that's what the whole act is. When you fucking a woman over, you violating her. She should be paid top dollar. She should be one of the richest women running around here. And every man that had had sex with her should be well known. Get out. Get out. Get your ass out. You can't come in. No. Okay? So I'm really disgusted about that. Okay? I mean, it's one thing, to sit up here, like I said, and call somebody a prostitute, and then you waiting around to see when you can find her, alone, and then, tell the world, oh, she's a prostitute. There's no way I could have raped her. And yet, next thing, what we really should be asking is, man, I don't think you could afford her. That's why you raped her. Okay? Because, it's a whole reverse psychology with these men. Okay? This whole, they're going to inverse, they're going to, reverse psychology, they're going to flip the script, all of that stuff, right? And, they have their little crew and their, minions out there, marketing the whole thing, like, yeah, we're going to make prostitutes, the lowest on the totem pole. And it's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You are not going to make prostitutes lowest on the totem pole. If you gonna make a prostitute, they're gonna get paid good money. Period. Otherwise, the petition has been sent up to spiritual court that you making a prostitute and not paying her for violating her spirituality is already in effect, baby. Okay? Because best believe the majority of these, prostitutes, they don't have longevity in the business. Kind of like an athlete, right? Athlete, they don't have longevity in nothing. Okay? But anyway, that's one of the trashy notions that, we have to get out and, throw it out with the trash. That no longer, will the fact that men can violate the woman and we blame the victim, right? Because if a man sits up here and like they're doing commonly right now, it's common for a man to have, cameras set up while, he's taking her down. Like it's his birthday, right? And he's having birthday sex and he wants to film it. Okay. Anyway, so now he's blackmailing this girl and saying, hey, this has already been downloaded on the black market, already passed and approved by Elon Musk. Elon Musk has accepted this, and it's on the black web. Right? Why? Because men are lustful, right? These are the men that said, hey, it's okay to look. There's no harm in looking. But why are you guys out here now sex addicts because you have been watching porn and that's all you was doing was looking? Now you have to look at everything. Now that, even males are on the table. Even males are on the table. Now you even looking at males. You looking at their glutes. Right? And how many more of y'all are converting to becoming a homosexual? But you couldn't admit it before. You didn't want to believe it. You don't want to admit that, it was the porn. Yeah, it was all of that. And it was the fact that you had shared, your intimate sexual details with your homeboy, and your homeboy got excited and flipped you over and did a broke back on your back. Anyway, let's toss that shit out with the trash. Because looking is harmful. Right? That's why, so many people, they have to go in a classroom in order to learn so they could get the emotional power behind the words that they hear and the letters and the things that they see in the whole presentation. They have to feel it. Okay? So, getting back to what I was talking about. You gonna try to make prostitution a continuous, forever profession? Believe me, they need to up their prices. Because you know what? Y'all are too broke, dusty to even be with them. And we're going to believe the prostitute. If she says you raped him, we're going to believe her. Yeah, if a prostitute brings charges up against you, who you claim is an outstanding person, and we trying to figure out why Why you even in proximity of somebody that's a known prostitute? We already know. You couldn't pay her price and you raped her. Or what she was asking, you didn't want to pay it, so you didn't pay her price, and therefore it wasn't an agree upon. There was no agreement. Y'all need to learn the motherfucking word of consent.